It's been a while since I reviewed a Chromebook. In fact, it's been like 3 to 4 years, but I saw this guy at CES 2019. I loved the design, and more importantly, I liked the price point. It's $569, which is on the higher end for a Chromebook, but you are getting a premium build that resembles a lot of high-end Ultrabooks. This is the ASUS ChromeBook Flip. This is the C434TA. Terrible name, but I like it because it's nice and light, under 3 pounds, making it easy to carry around. Now this is a convertible, which means you have a bunch of different positions to work with. If you want, you have your traditional laptop mode. You can flip it around into tent mode if you want to watch some entertainment, or you can put it flat to the surface and have a tablet experience. Now the big thing about this laptop, or ASUS laptops in general, is they come with a Ergo Hinge, which basically allows the base portion to be lifted up when you're typing. Now the way it works on this laptop, the display has to be pushed quite a bit back for the base to be lifted off. But this provides a couple of benefits. For one, you have a more comfortable typing experience, and two, airflow is better. Port setup is pretty cool. On the left-hand side, you have a USB Type-C port. Obviously, this is not Thunderbolt 3. One USB-A port, audio jack, volume rocker, and your power button. On the right-hand side, you have another USB Type-C port and a micro SD card. Now I like this in the sense that you can add more storage and you still have enough I/O to connect all your devices to. So getting inside is really easy. Just remove the screws surrounding the laptop, and there's 2 more under the top rubber pads. Once you're in, there's nothing to upgrade, but I still like to show you guys the internals of your laptop. Now this is a big 55 watt-hour battery, takes up the majority of the case. You have one heat pipe cooling the CPU and GPU. This is a Y series processor. It is the M3, so it's fanless, quiet, and doesn't produce that much heat. Now I'm getting about 9 hours of use before needing to charge, so really great battery life, but obviously not the best when you compare it to some other Ultrabooks that are getting 12 or 13 hours. There is 64 gigabytes of onboard storage. It is eMMC. If you want an SSD, you have to upgrade to the i5 or i7, and that will net you 128 gigabytes or 256. So the display is full HD. It's 1920 by 1080. Color accuracy is pretty good. It's not 100% sRGB, but it's pretty close. It's an IPS panel and it's 14 inches. It is touch, so you can go ahead and use the interface to get around. There is a camera on the top of the display, which is always the best position. Sound is coming out of 2 speakers on the bottom of the laptop. They're not bad, but they are downward facing, and because of that, you are getting more of an echo or tinny experience. They do get quite loud. They're good enough to fill up a medium-sized room, and I found there was 0 distortion at max volume. Now, when it comes to productivity, you know what you're buying this for. Simple productivity tasks. You're not buying this to render files or push the latest 3D installation of something. You're buying this to type notes. You're buying this to do Excel or Google Docs or anything based in the browser. You have the added benefit of having Android apps to work alongside of it, but don't buy this specifically for Android because a lot of those apps are a little glitchy and they don't look as good as they do on a smartphone. Now, because this model has 4 gigabytes of RAM, my suggestion is if you're using more than 8 to 10 tabs open at the same time, to buy a more beefier version of it, because 4 gigabytes of RAM starts to slow down a little bit. Now, because this is fanless and because you are using a low powered CPU, the heat management on this laptop is absolutely fantastic. No issues there. Keyboard. I like it. It's a pretty good keyboard. 1.4 millimeters of travel distance. The keys are a tad mushy, but I'm typing on this very well. I find it very comfortable to type on. Not a lot of errors when I'm typing for a long period of time. It is backlit, so that's great, especially if you're in a dark environment. But the one thing I do not like is the touchpad. The size is fine, it's just the quality of the touchpad. It's plastic, it's not accurate. It's probably one of the worst touchpads I've used in the last year. So here are my closing thoughts. The ASUS ChromeBook Flip is a pretty solid Chromebook. It has a premium design, tons of IOs to connect your devices to, a good display, and a pretty good keyboard. My only real complaints is the inability to upgrade any of the internals, which is kind of typical for most Chromebooks, and a very mediocre touchpad. At the end of the day, for $569, you're getting a device that feels just as premium as more expensive Ultrabooks. Anyways, that wraps up this review. If you guys liked it, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and since it's called the ChromeBook Flip, let's flip it.